From the Fox 26 studios, this is Houston's Morning Show.
A week after two mass shootings, one in Texas, the push is on to get gun control measures through Congress and into law. Let's talk Monday morning politics with Republican strategist Jackie Bally and Democratic strategist Dallas Jones. Good morning and thanks for being here, both of you.
Good morning.
Okay, now, movement on background checks for weapons. Last week we had a crew of mayors, more than 240 of them, who have urged Congress to come back and do some type of legislation. Will this happen?
Well, they've already said they're not cutting into their recess, right? But at least the president has said that he's willing to work with Congress. We've had some Democratic congressional leaders who said they're willing to work with the president and come up with a bipartisan law to look at a more expansive background check, particularly focusing on those who have had mental illnesses or have been diagnosed with a mental illness. Unfortunately, what we've seen so far would not have prevented what's going on right now, because 80% of the killings that we have are done with guns acquired illegally. 65% are with handguns. I know a lot of people are looking at assault rifles. And so a lot of the bills that are being proposed, both on the left and the right, aren't really addressing the real issues. But I am very hopeful that now that the president said he is moving forward, and other Democratic and Republican congressional leaders said that they also want to move forward, that we'll come up with something. And I think it's going to at least alleviate some of the tension that we're seeing in the public.
We've heard it all before. Unfortunately, every time there's a school shooting or some type of mass killing in this country, then we want to reignite the debate about comprehensive gun reform in this country. We're talking about background checks, but the reality of it is that there was a bipartisan bill that came out of the House prior to this incident happening that was buried in Mitch McConnell's legislative graveyard that the president was not supportive of. The president has said, even in consideration today of this, that the NRA's agenda ought to be considered and a part of this process. It is time for Washington to stop carrying the water of what is the most powerful lobby group in Washington, D.C., which is the NRA. Look, I understand we're in Texas, and I'll be very transparent. I am a concealed weapons licensed person to carry. I understand that people believe in owning guns, and it's a part of our country, but there is no need for assault bans. When the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, former chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staffs, Admiral Mullen, who else can we trust besides the leader of one of the former leaders of our military, our armed forces, has said there is no need for Americans to have access to these weapons. These are weapons of death, and they should not be in the hands of people. So now the president wants to blame mental health and video games. Let's pass some serious gun reform measures in this country so we can finally do something to protect our children.
Well, it's a conversation that will continue for the next weeks, months, and maybe even years, but maybe something will be done. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having us.